to the first full cast taping of Geek Down. Woo! Yeah. Welcome everyone. How you guys doing this week?
All right.
This is nice. Look at us. We're stepping it up now. Stepping it up. I like this.
We've come a long way.
Thank you, our technical supervisors, Bobby and John David.
Glad to be here.
We're gonna have an awesome show for you.
They're great with cyber.
That was very nice. Nice.
We got our usual full cast and plenty to talk about. We have John David Rivera's.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Rivera. How are you doing there?
I'm doing alright, man.
Cool.
Yeah, I was still doing it.
Yeah, okay.
We're all good.
We have Bobby Dean Avila.
Yep. That's
Terrible
me.
joke.
I'm listening to their critiques. Everyone hated my impression, so I'm just going to keep it natural, keep it smooth.
I see. All right. We have Adam Brajas.
Wubba lubba dub dub. I'll do the terrible joke.
There you go. Someone's got to.
Damn it! You took my thing!
And me, your host, Chris Garfius. Welcome. First thing, a surprise to me was Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales. Mm-hmm. They released a trailer and a poster, and I definitely looked good. I didn't even know this was coming up.
I heard they renamed it. I thought it was supposed to be Beat Woman Tell No Tales, but then...
What?
Boy.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no!
Good lord.
Okay.
That was a rough one.
Wait a minute.
Hey, what's the poster? I'm looking at the
Well,
poster.
maybe we'll be a quick little snippet. We can show the poster.
We'll throw the poster up on there.
Okay.
For my own self, I want to see. Is it just a skull? What is
Yeah,
it?
it's
It's
skull.
just the skull. The gold right
It's
there.
the one that shows at the end of the teaser.
Yeah, it's just with.
Oh my.
Oh my.
It's analyzed.
And like we usually say, full of spoilers in every episode.
That's right.
Javier Bardem.
Bardem.
It's like a fine wine saying his name. Jesus. Looks to be the antagonist in this one.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great freaking bad guy. Mm-hmm. I mean, well, No Country was his first big role. This looks like it could be another.
And then again with
007.
007. Yes.
Skyfall.
I think he's gonna touch Jack's chest and...
Almost.
You would think there would have to be like some sort of homoerotic kind of scene. No, I could see that. Yeah, for sure.
It was already in the trailer. I mean, he had like black stuff dripping out of his mouth. He was getting the guy's face. I mean,
what kind of black stuff do you do with like?
Don't worry about it.
You need to see a doctor.
Don't worry about it. I'm fine.
It should not be black.
Everybody has black stuff. Point is, everybody has some little black stuff. Point is. Yeah, he looks good. Looks creepy.
Well, we definitely did not see Johnny Depp, which, I mean, I guess with all of his private life troubles right now, is kind of obvious that maybe they wouldn't put him to be in there.
You know, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
But I was thinking
Sucks
more
how
in
a
terms
lie
of
can ruin a career.
Man, we're gonna get into this. I actually thought of it more as like a story thing. We're introducing a new character. Not only that, it's gonna be a badass villain. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be the main antagonist.
I like the tone.
We don't necessarily need to see Jack Sparrow, and yeah, it's setting the tone for a very
DC like. I'm digging it.
Yeah.
Dark, brooding.
Everything is about DC.
No smiles.
No smiles.
I've always liked the lore that they go into in regards to the whole mythology of the pirate, the mermaids or the undead, Davy Jones, and the whole ocean mythology.
Not that they always tackle it properly, but
no,
it is still kind of cool that they kind of
Yeah, they don't just make everything up. They kind of take what's people already know it being out there and make it their own.
Yeah, but I'm curious to see what part of that whole lore mythology, what exactly are these shadow people? Are they part of Will Turner's crew? Come back because
Disney couldn't avoid zombies.
Well, in terms of that,
you're supposed to say shadow people.
I can't say black stuff. I can't say shadow people. What can I say? What is
Shadow Lives Matter?
Oh my god!
No.
Hashtag best.
Well, at first when I saw the crew, I'm thinking I kind of got the sense of like Davy Jones's crew in terms of like half creature, half human. And then with the organ, the music that's playing, very reminiscent of the second movie with the Davy Jones, obviously him playing there.
But they always use the organ in the first one, the
organ.
ride.
Has the organ always been in the first movie?
Yeah. Whenever
maybe I'm maybe looking into it. Most likely it is probably a different crew of
you're right with
creepy people.
Yeah, you're right with Davy Jones. He played the organ, but in regards to hearing that sound, that was with everything.
Well, and I say that only also because Orlando Bloom is
right.
I'm happy that we're getting Orlando Bloom.
It's definitely confirmed for this movie. Keira Knightley not confirmed, but we're definitely going to see that new version of Davy Jones.
We need more period piece movies so Orlando Bloom can do some acting. Mm-hmm. That's all he's capable of doing.
Legolas. What's your elf? They're taking the pirates' died.
He used to play some cool like elf Jedi in a Star Wars movie.
Interesting.
So are we excited for this movie?
I am. I like all the Pirates movies. I dig them.
I
all.
did not see the last one. I wasn't really interested.
Let me
in
say
it.
this.
It was okay.
I acknowledge that 2 and 3 are not good movies.
Yes.
But I like Johnny Depp and I like Pirates, and I will go see pirate movies with Johnny Depp in them. So
It made me want to rewatch the whole series. I kind of want to catch up. Like, okay, let me see if I can. I just kind of want to catch up on it, especially the fourth one. The fourth one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
I actually like the fourth one.
Yeah, first is the best, then the fourth in my order, then then
I would go 3 and 2.
3.
I go 3 and 2.
I think I have to read
2. I think it's the weakest.
But you know what? I both of them I did not really like that much. I'd have to rewatch them again.
Yeah.
I do like some of the set pieces in 2 in terms of like the action set pieces.
Oh,
3,
the wheel.
The wheel was as ridiculous, and it makes no sense.
It was more ridiculous than unnecessary. I was watching it like.
Well, see, the third movie just feels a little bloated to me. You have like so many pirate meetings and stuff, and it just felt like a lot.
More a little.
But when I see like a pirate movie, I want to see like shit on the high seas, and I got more land stuff in the second movie, and the third was high sea stuff.
But the second one you got
ship battles.
But the second one you got the Kraken though. The Kraken was pretty. I like the Kraken.
I like Sane Kraken.
Yeah.
Kraken.
The Kraken.
Moving on.
Thank you. Thank you, Bobby.
I'll keep going all night.
Release it.
Well, in our weekly DC update, some comic book news with Wonder Woman. Adam, we have a bisexual Wonder Woman.
Likes tacos, apparently.
You were on it.
And all be Franks.
You were on it.
We have cameras now. Like you can't like pretend you didn't say something.
Have I ever pretended?
No.
Kinda. Sometimes you would say things and then like give a look and then laugh silently.
Apparently, she's an equal opportunity lover of scissoring as well as.
So
the
you like this
traditional way.
decision?
I'm fine with it because of if it had not been explained well, I would have thought it just the same bullshit. Let's pander to social justice warriors who won't ever buy the comics for more than 2 weeks and then move on, and fuck all the fans that have followed this character for 50 some odd years. But Greg Rucka made a great argument. Amazons in the Greek tradition were traditionally, homosexual. The Greeks didn't have a big deal with it. It was kind of part of the culture.
Yeah, that's true.
And
yeah, that's right.
He's like, if she's leaving, Themyscira just to chase Steve Trevor, that kind of takes away from her heroism of Wonder Woman.
Right.
It doesn't bother me at all. It's one of the few where they've changed in a fundamental way, at least the direct understanding of a character, where I'm okay with it.
Right, so they officially have gotten rid of do they still make reference to the fact that she loved Superman and they were dating, or is that...
That's been gone.
Or is that officially done
That's
now?
gone because of Rebirth. That has nothing to do with this.
Right.
But I still think she had carried on, she had a relationship with
Steve
Trevor.
With Rebirth, like, the old Superman died, or the new Superman died, but then the new one came back from the original universe, and then
the new one died, the old one comes back. Yeah,
it's all convoluted shit.
It's all horseshit now.
Yeah.
Most comics are, but the fact that they're kind of going with a historical, traditional look at Wonder Woman is kind of cool. The reasoning makes sense.
Yeah.
It really does, and they haven't said like she's lesbian or she was
they said
converted.
That she's bi.
She's bi. Which is cool. Like we don't have any of those characters.
And it makes sense.
She can easily be that.
It makes sense. Even
and
just taking away the whole lore thing, it makes sense. She's been growing up on an island of just gorgeous women training each other. Like there's got to be times where they're just curious. They got to be.
I mean, that's
the only thing
Yeah.
Like how you brought up the historical about the Greeks. I mean, there were stories of
Achilles was
they'd be training.
Alexander the Great.
They'd be training and be in their barracks and stuff, and they were with the same people all the time. Obviously, like same exact
your comrades, your best
situation.
friends, and you're fighting and dying for each other. Like feelings are gonna happen, and I mean, it happens.
Love. Anyways, I had nothing to contribute.
You did a good job.
I think it's one of the better explanations for like a major change or an acknowledged change, because
I have no problem with it.
Yeah,
it completely makes sense.
It makes total sense for the character.
It's not out of left
just changing a character's race because you want to make people happy and try and sell comic books.
Mm-hmm.
That seems cheap and pandering. This seems like it's a natural.
To that, I have a different view on that in terms of like we're making now like Human Torch is now black in the movie version of Fantastic Four.
You know why that's stupid? Because they're fucking twins. That's why that's fucking stupid.
That in particular.
Make her black.
I wouldn't necessarily. I wouldn't have.
I know. Make both of them black.
I know where he's going with this.
And by the way, you're right. I would have made her.
But they don't want to. They don't want to go that far.
I would have made her black as well.
But
just in terms of when a lot of these characters were made, it was in a time when we have to make white characters. To make a black superhero, an Asian superhero, a Mexican superhero, it just wouldn't make sense in the time. Now that
here's
these
the thing,
characters,
it's pandering and it's lazy. You have great writers write new fucking characters with interesting backstories.
I think what it is,
that I'm fine with. If it's like you kill off Peter Parker or something like that, and you make
Miles Morales is just
make a
as
new
love.
character, yes, but don't change Peter Parker to someone.
Exactly.
I'm fine with that. Yeah,
the comic books have definitely been doing that. Obviously, we're getting brand new characters of their different heritages and all that, but. In terms of Hollywood, you're talking about Hollywood, man. That's why we're not getting Miles Morales in, Civil War and the next version of. I would have loved to see Miles Morales as opposed to Peter Parker. We've already seen 2 on-screen versions of him. Give it to us, but they don't. I guess they're not trusting the audience. They're not, the studios. That is, they're not trusting the audience. So that's where I think it's going to take some time for us to see, brand new characters. We're
talking about the comics now, and this is. I'm not talking about the movies.
We are seeing new characters at least in the Marvel universe. I know I keep up with the Marvel universe. I don't know about DC and are they changing?
I mean, they changed Wally West to black and then realized it was stupid, so they changed him back. Now Wally West is back.
Yeah, well, Wally was
to the Wally West that everyone fucking loves, the ginger-haired, beautiful bastard that runs that shit flows in the back.
All these things are against gingers. Like you gotta realize that. Like every ginger character has been changed. It's like that's blasphemy.
There's
so
a reason
that
the red herring of the family.
They have these characters that they've created. They have great black characters. Black Panther is one of them in the Marvel universe. You have him, so fucking put him at the forefront if you want to have more, racial diversity in your comics and create more heroes that are African American or straight African like Black Panther is or whatever, Asian, whatever.
Storm. Absolutely.
Exactly, yeah. Create those characters. Absolutely. Create a mythos. Build a mythos. Engage new readers that way. Don't say
don't change everything.
Fuck you to the people who've been reading for books.
So, use the camera.
Exactly. No, I agree. I agree. Don't change everything that's established, but be creative and make new characters to take on the lore of these heroes.
That's established, do it in the right way, like this thing with Wonder Woman. Have it make sense. Don't just do it because you're lazy and don't want to create a new character. You just want to do a quick cash grab
upset
for new
the establishment.
readers.
Captain America's now evil, or like now a different way.
Breaking away from the comics, what did you think about Star Trek? Them making Sulu gay in the last Star Trek movie. I don't know if you even watched the movie.
Oh, I didn't see it. I didn't see that.
I didn't see the last one.
No, was he gay in the movie?
In this movie, they show him. It's a quick second. It shows him walking away with like his, I guess, partner, husband.
A finger in the butt.
There was no one. No, believe it or not,
tongue punching the fart box.
In this PG-13 movie, I don't think they
did not.
Star Trek into the fart box.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
That's beyond. But what do you think about that, though?
Star Trek beyond.
I don't mind. I don't really have a connection with the Star Trek universe. I don't care. Yeah. It's kind of lame. And anyone on there that likes Star Trek.
Damn,
use the camera.
Use the camera. He did.
So
talk to the
I don't really have a problem with it, just because it doesn't matter. It's it doesn't matter if a character's gay, or straight or black or whatever. If you do it in a right way that's tasteful and makes sense, fine. And I think people recognize it's the actor that played Sulu before,
George
Takei. People recognize him as Sulu still, and he's a very open gay man. I mean, I think he's actually said he doesn't like this.
He does not like it because he thought it was kind of like...
He thought it was pandering.
It's pandering.
And it was lazy. Make create a new character.
Yeah. I mean...
But the whole point of that Star Trek bridge was, everyone was, a different race and stuff, and they weren't even... I guess the creator wouldn't. What's his name? I can't even think of the creator's
Bradbury.
name.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah. Wasn't even aware of maybe making a character gay, so maybe that's.
Or Roddenberry.
There it is.
Yeah. See,
That sounded.
See, I actually don't
We're
know anything about
We're
Star Trek.
Star Trek people.
because it fucking sucks. Star Trek's
Don't
lame.
let Daniel hear that. He'll go in a rant about Deep Space
And you
Nine.
know what?
Let him.
Maybe if we can
Garbage.
make some space. I know we've had requests by certain people for Star Trek.
Who?
Daniel.
My little brother.
So if you see a special guest that looks a lot like John David, it's gonna be a Star Trek episode. So tune in if you want.
Avoid it at all costs.
Moving
Oh,
on.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Moving
yeah,
on.
Back to another big franchise. The Lion King is getting a
taking it back.
remake, reboot. Well, I don't know what was the official
remake.
It's a remake.
A live
Attack of the Gimmicks.
A live action remake. It's a live action remake. Live action,
which
and
we,
quotation
I
marks.
mean, besides Jon Favreau being attached to it because of his work, of course, with The Jungle Book,
That's right.
which I know John David is a huge fan of.
I love that movie. We talked about this a little bit.
It's
In our
Yeah,
first
little
live action
test
test.
footage.
And I think just because we talked about this, how Jungle Book made so much more money, maybe than even Disney thought, was about 965,000 worldwide, which I'm sure
That bombed, didn't it? 965,000.
million, 965 million.
You said
Did I
you
say-
said 1,000.
Oh, I
Did
did.
he? And
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention. But
It made
I was
almost
just-
$1 billion.
honestly, I was just like, I'm impressed that he had like the numbers up. I was like,
Oh,
wow,
yeah,
dude,
I was-
the numbers.
It
were-
made almost $1 billion.
Yeah.
It's in line with all their reimaginings of like Cinderella, Maleficent, Jungle Book, of course, a very anticipated movie, Hermione Over Everything, right?
Hermione Over Everything,
Beauty and the Beast
Hashtag Hermione
is a
Over
very anticipated movie, and I think they're. I mean, obviously they're going along that same line with the Lion
Happy for
King.
Beast.
But speaking of, did you see the first image of her and the Beast?
The Beast.
Yeah.
Beast looks cool.
Did you see how it kind of a little similar to
She looks hot.
Satan in South Park? How they kind of look, the giant like red Satan. Like you see both Beast and like.
Was
Can you
Saddam
pull
in the
this up
background?
for me, please?
I got it.
You got it right there.
Wait a minute, what?
We'll pull it up right now.
Bell with
What?
an E, I think.
Oh, whatever.
You got
You probably type in live
keep
action.
it talking.
Beauty,
So,
Beast,
so
South
but what are the
Park,
while you're looking that up? What are the thoughts of a Lion King remake? Is because obviously this is just an animal thing with no humans. Or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I don't know how that mix is gonna work. There's no mix. Jungle Book, there was the human, the real person that was mixed in, and the whole point was that it just
Who's playing
was
Beast?
so smooth.
Sorry.
Who's playing Beast?
Yeah.
I forget. Some good-looking dude. I don't know.
But in this situation, it's all animals. So where is that interaction of the human and the technology?
That makes it interesting
Now,
to make a
isn't-
live action in the first place.
And here's what I say: is it important? Do you need that interaction between human? Because essentially what we're going to be getting is another Lion King cartoon, but the animation is just cranked up to
Photorealistic,
10,000.
Here's
Is it necessary as long as the characters are well defined?
My problem with it is that after thinking about it again is because of the way the animation is with the original Lion King and their facial expressions, they're able to be these wacky, crazy characters. They can do the comedy. They can show human characteristics in their face, and you buy it because it's that animated world. You could go from dark and serious to all of a sudden Hakuna Matata and I just can't wait to be king. You can jump from that section to section, and it flows in a good way. Whereas
You're saying the Baloo in like the original Jungle Book
hear me out.
was more expressive than the Baloo in this current version?
Well, hear me out. I would say he had better express. Watch it again when the part where he's dancing with King Louis, and he's much more expressive than this Baloo. This Baloo in the live action is much more mellow, laid back. Bill Murray. He has like parts where he's kind of pondering, but it's nowhere near as expressive as the original Baloo. Sorry, I'm sorry to say, and that's the problem because with Lion King, when you incorporate all these songs, you need that expression, and if you're going to make a live action version, you want to make it realistic, you want to make it look good like the Jungle Book, you're going to have to cut out that realistic, those animated expressions. Because those animals, they don't make those faces.
But I think that's a given with all the remakes you've seen: Cinderella, Jungle Book, Alice in Wonderland. You're going to see Beauty and the Beast. Maleficent. Already, none of those are cartoons. You're going away from the cartoons, and all of them are automatically less silly because the CG and animation is taking a step forward.
Well,
so I think we have to accept that this Lion King. Yeah, you're not going to actually get a ridiculous, Timon and Pumbaa dancing sequence.
That's part
of what makes Lion King,
Yeah.
because it has the music, it has the charm, it has all that. You're taking away and making it serious and realistic.
Jungle Book, yeah, you're not having a Baloo dancing on his hind legs, doing like this ridiculous jazz number or whatever like that. But the charm is still there. The character of Baloo is still intact. I think just because he's not dancing around.
That hurts my feelings more than him not liking Godfather 2.
The difference is.
Did you see Jungle Book?
Call back.
No, I haven't seen him. I just bought it on my Apple TV. I'm gonna buy it.
Out of all the remakes they've done, I do believe it's the best.
Here's the thing. I don't want to see Lion King redone.
The difference
I don't
is
want to.
the music in Lion King.
You just want to see any of these movies redone?
See,
No,
and by the way,
none.
I think if they would have asked us, we would have said, "Don't remake any of these motherfuckers. Maybe Mulan."
But they've made Mulan would be cool.
I want to see Mulan
I do think
going
Mulan
up
would be
against Guns.
cool.
But I mean, it's different though. Yeah,
It is different.
But
2 weeks ago, we never thought they were going to remake Lion King. It would almost be sacrilegious. But the fact is,
It is sacrilegious.
It is.
It's the same way.
You know what?
No,
It's
it's
not.
as insulting as them
No, it's
remaking
Here's
Ghostbusters.
my problem with it.
If Ghostbusters was good, we'd be happy with it.
No,
But the
it's
fact is
not.
Ghostbusters
I know.
was shitty.
No,
But that's a different
Ghostbusters
situation.
was perfect.
Can I-
The first
can I-
one was perfect.
That's a different
Can I say
situation.
It's not. It's the same thing.
Can I?
It's like childhood.
Can I say something? The thing with Disney, they constantly are selling their old movies out of that timeless classic.
Mhm.
The timeless classic. Not only is Lion King only barely 20 years old. What is it? 22? Came out in 1994.
Yeah.
So 22 years old. They're marketing it as these timeless classics that any generation could pop in, the VHS, the DVD, and then they're remaking them. That's totally taking away the feeling.
Because now, guess what? Now, when you're an adult and you're gonna have your kids, you're gonna have to buy two versions of the Lion King. You're gonna buy the cartoon version, and you're gonna buy the next version, and that's what it is. That's what the business model is.
Oh, I understand.
Now they're both timeless classics.
Are we talking about business though? We're talking about the art.
I'm talking about
I feel like
art.
the art is betrayed here.
Well, here's my
Yes.
thing.
Thank you.
I have no problem remaking any fucking movie.
I do.
They're gonna.
I think there needs to be a certain amount of time.
I think if it's done properly.
Here's the thing.
That's why did we see a billion different versions of
There
all
are
these
some
different
movies that
Shakespeare
shouldn't
plays.
be remade. I don't ever want to see Gone with the fucking Wind remade. It's
I don't
perfect.
think- I don't
it
think-
is.
I
I don't
don't
ever want to see
think-
Casablanca
Well,
remade.
we have
So those are very
They just remade Ben-Hur. It's been 40, 50 years since they made the first one, and it was fucking shit. Because it's not the same. You can't
What was the
remake
other one?
classics.
If it was good,
Clash of
but
the
if
Titans was another one.
if it was
good,
if it was good, we'd be saying something different. Which is why I'm saying watch Jungle Book. It's this version, the
part of what makes
2016
those
Jungle
movies
Book.
great are
Listen,
like
dude,
the classic ability to build these fucking sets with 5,000 like characters in the background.
Dude, that's what. Dude, you're gonna. People are gonna be remaking these. I don't think any movie is. It's too sacred to. We can't touch this again. If it's a great fucking movie and it's well directed and there's great characters and it's the actors are portraying these characters well, I think it's fine.
But
I think my problem is when Ben-Hur and Ghostbusters and
Lion King is about as perfect
movies.
a movie as you can have.
Yes.
Nothing.
Wow.
When I was a child, nothing made me happier than watching. I watched that movie like 10 times in theaters. Watching Simba and Simone and Timon and Pumbaa and the songs. I listened to that soundtrack in my dad's car every fucking day.
Oscar
Yeah,
winning.
that movie is perfect. And that movie holds up. I can watch that movie today and be like, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's one of those movies where if it comes on, I'll watch it and I'll be happy. It makes me truly happy.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what art should do. It should bring forward like a feeling of wonder and it's the same feeling like that I see when I watch Jurassic Park. Just that feeling of wonder. The first time I watched Star Wars. It's like, it's a perfect movie and they shouldn't remake it. They shouldn't. And we can talk about business. Sure, you're right. It makes sense for them to remake it.
Let's take away from we understand the business behind it, but
would you repaint a fucking Picasso?
Okay, no, but let me tell you this. So then you're saying this. So to come back with that, because they make something after that really destroy how you feel about this original one?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, this
doesn't
because
matter.
you're arguing that this is so good, so pure. Why would they make another one?
The rebooted
But then you're basically saying
Ben-Hur did not take away from the original Ben-Hur. Neither did this
Because then you would say the
Ghostbusters.
original
Okay.
trilogy of Star Wars is diminished because of the prequels. Do you say that?
That actually, I believe it has been diminished from the prequels.
And you know what? We've had conversations about Matrix.
That's a little
Matrix.
different
We
because-
actually think
They
Matrix
fundamentally
That's
changed the
because
character.
takes away from Matrix.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
That's
that's
different. That's different.
But those are in the same universe, though.
Yeah.
This new
That's
Lion
true.
King is going to be a
It's
it's
a
a
remake.
it's a reboot, it's a remake, whatever you want to call it. It's
Okay,
gonna have
so
nothing to do with it.
Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters.
My
Does the one
argument-
that came out diminish the original one?
That's not my argument. It's about.
But that's
But
exactly
it's
what
not.
you just
But it-
said
no,
because
but it's not.
because
It's
you're
about
saying when you
respecting
saw
the
this
integrity
one.
of the art.
It's about it's again. I agree. It's respecting the integrity and using those funds for something they can go for maybe like what they're doing with
You're-
Mona or something.
Mona, yeah.
With Mona,
Make
use
more
that
original, awesome
make
art.
it
That's
exactly.
fine. I think we live in a world where you can do both. I don't think any piece of art is so sacred that you can't touch it again.
How can you say that?
It's not.
How can you look at
it's-
Starry Night and say that's not a beautiful piece of art that can't be remade?
First of all, we're kind
That's
of
completely
it's the
different.
same thing.
No.
Film is on the same level as painting.
I'm kind of the same. I'm on the same
that's
level.
it.
You know
we're
what?
talking about movies.
Batman
here.
vs Superman sucked. This guy got it right.
Oh, is that how you're doing this?
Unbelievable.
No, I agree. Like in regards to making
trying to
pieces
hit.
of no, I'm
You're both wrong. We were right.
We're open to different opinions. I will never say someone's
happens if
opinion
you-
is more right than others.
If
You're right because yours is wrong.
Watch this.
I'm trying to support all of
I'm
us.
telling you. This first of all, this
I said you're right.
this recent Jungle Book, I
But
think
you're
it's the
wrong.
best version of Jungle Book. I truly think the best. No.
Wait, how can you say that? You haven't seen
doesn't
it.
matter.
It's
It's
so
so
perfect.
perfect. The first
Alright,
one, the first one, the cartoon version is not perfect by any means. If you watch it again,
Bullshit.
dude, the story is
It's
so
not- it's
whack.
not-
It is
it's not
so
right.
far. It's so far from perfect, man.
It's not perfect.
That's your nostalgia.
My
man.
my one thing is what I liked about this one with regarding to making it live action. It was I understand with the older movies, say with Jungle Book, Cinderella, Snow White, Sword in the Stone. I can understand if there's that human element and you're reintroducing it with this new generation. I understand. With Jungle Book, with the live action Mowgli, who I think is the best part of that movie, the little Mowgli kid. And they made it so that the story is much more cohesive and it does flow better. There are moments where it kind of lulls in the original Jungle Book where Mowgli's wandering through the forest and it is very more whimsical. This is more realistic. But the thing is, it adds something to that. It makes it its own thing. What is there going to... the Lion King is already this great entity. What more can you add to that?
Also-
Besides just making it live action animals and it's more serious.
Yeah,
It's like any remake for any forget these cartoons and stuff. It's just a new director is bringing something new to the table. So that's all I'm saying. And in terms of like the whole CG element, and you're worried that these CG characters not interacting with any human element is going to throw the movie off. I feel like that was the argument they were making with cartoons back in the Disney's heyday, which was, how could you care for these? This is cartoons. This is drawings on paper. How can I care for these? And it turns out it all comes down to the character. It comes down to story and character.
It doesn't.
And so that's why you're.
I feel like
That's
the
why
exact
you're.
opposite.
That's why.
Cartoon
That's why.
characters are
No.
easier
It's not a matter of me.
No, but see, but that's not. But that's
That's
not.
not what I'm arguing.
That's not what the
I'm
original
not.
feeling
I'm not
was.
arguing about. I'm not arguing about what if a cartoon character can make me feel stuff. The fact that it's interesting seeing it live action is because there's that human interaction it makes it connected to the real world. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, let me ask this: what if right now the Jungle Book? You've seen Jungle Book,
Yeah.
and everything, pretty much everything you see there is CG except for Mowgli. What if Mowgli looks exactly like Mowgli, but he was CG? What if, you know what I'm saying? Like, what makes, just because it's an actual, it's an actual
There's also something about the
10-year-old boy there,
performances.
why does that make a difference?
I don't want to
Why-
see.
if
I don't
if
want to
you-
hear
if that-
anyone but Billy Crystal as Timon. There's just certain things about like a movie.
And it's
like,
not Billy
It's
Crystal.
not Simone. It's
Sorry,
Nathan Lane.
Yeah, whatever.
Jesus.
Sorry.
no.
There's
Now
nothing
the perfect
sacred, Adam. There's nothing
They
sacred.
made a mistake. It's Mike Wazowski. You're thinking of similar characters, but
But like,
I think there's.
I'm drawing a blank on.
I'm saying
No,
that's.
but it's true. I like this point of if that human person was covered up with the CGI.
It looks so
would it have
good.
diminished
What's
the
the
movie
I
quality?
say what's the point then? Because then you're just making another animated Jungle Book, but darker and
No,
grittier.
but you're using
That's
real
the-
actors behind that.
But that's not what I want. I don't want to see CGI. If you're making it live action, I want to see real.
No, but then they're
That's what
able
makes
to,
it interesting.
But then they're
though.
able to have them be able to do things that they can't, or
Like what?
Just because it's animation, that they could then do things for animation that they can use in CG.
So it looks like a realer animal. I just don't.
No, not just that it's a realer looking animal, but the ability to move them and put the camera in places. Yeah, of course we have the CG and other live action.
I understand that, but that makes it just another animated thing. I'm talking about with people, it's interesting because you got real actors and it makes it more connected to this our world.
I think
that's why Mulan and Cinderella would be much more interesting than just another animated Lion King.
From what I saw, I got emotional for fake animals that were created on a computer. You get crazy emotions. If the animals can make me feel that way, why can't a CG human? Why can't a whole movie all CG animals?
I'm not talking about feeling or character development or story.
But isn't that what this whole thing is about?
No, I see. What's the point? If it's the same thing, just animation again. Why?
It's a less special version of the original.
I think it's
why. That's
okay.
Why
Well,
I'm not
well, let me ask.
I do think the phrase live action that they keep using in terms of a live action remake. I do think it's another, and this is going to be a fully animated Lion King remake. There's nothing live about it. I think photorealistic is maybe something that they should be saying, but I think that's what's throwing a lot of people off. Yeah. In terms of, I don't give a fuck if all of this shit's CG and it's still a great fucking movie. I have no problem with it. You gotta watch Jungle Book.
So then, so their next movie that's coming out that is this revival, the combination of live action is Beauty and the Beast.
That's right.
John David, are you gonna go see this?
Hashtag Hermione over everything. Yes, I will be.
Bobby, are you interested in seeing it?
Hashtag Hermione is overrated. But Beauty and the Beast, I am gonna see.
Okay, thank you. And Adam, I have a feeling what you're gonna say, but go ahead.
I'll agree that Emma Watson's an overrated actress. But
do we say Emma Watson? I said Hermione.
It's the same thing.
Okay. So are you gonna see this movie? Are you interested to see it?
Yeah, I'm gonna see it, but because of the fact that right after Beauty and the Beast came out and animated, it came out in a play, and I went and saw the play. So it's really good. So I've already seen a live action version of that, so I'm interested to see what it can be on screen. I don't think it's as good as Lion King is as a movie, the original Beauty and the Beast.
So if we're talking about,
here's the thing,
Beauty and the
agree
Beast,
with that.
Well,
I
will say this: Beauty and the Beast was the first Oscar nominated for Best Picture in just a regular Best Picture, no animation, just Best Picture.
It's just not as special to me. Maybe I'm not a little girl, or whatever. When it came out,
I'm sure that's
Beauty and the Beast is a solid film,
but
I love
the connection.
Lion King is such a special work of art that, and who do you get to play Mufasa? Unless it's James Earl Jones.
That's a whole nother
thing.
Get
the fuck out.
That's a whole nother thing.
Then why make the movie again?
Exactly.
It's the same cast.
Well, that's the thing. I don't want to see
the same exact thing. It's just.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah. It's a perfect. It's a perfect picture.
Next time.
So when Beauty and the Beast comes out, I'm sure we'll have this similar argument. We'll actually see it and see how they continue to work on these movies and see if they're keeping the quality what it should be, and we hope it would.
I want to hear your review next week for Jungle Book. I would like to hear your...
All right.
We can do a quick review.
There you go. That sounds good. All right. That'll help us out. All right. So something new property, but actually not really new because it came from a previous property, is Westworld, HBO's new show.
Ooh. Was it from a novel?
It is a movie...
Michael Christian?
Crichton, who is from Jurassic Park and so many other, sci-fi type books. He actually did. It was a movie he wrote back in the day in the 70s, and it did horrible. But somehow I don't know how they decided to.
High rated 7.1.
I mean, it didn't do well in terms of theaters, though. I know that for sure. Jonathan Nolan, one of the co-creators of the show.
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams, a producer. We just watched it. And
episode 1 premiered tonight. This was crazy, man. This was like The Matrix.
It was nuts.
To borrow, I don't want to steal.
Please.
The cast is stacked.
Hashtag cast is stacked.
Anthony Hopkins, Ed Harris, Evan Rachel Wood. I mean, you have a bunch of names.
James Marsden, Dandy Newton. I mean, and you can tell. We haven't even scratched the surface with some of these characters. Already with up in the next few episodes, you already can tell that we're going to be getting deeper and deeper into some of these characters. it does feel like a little Cabin in the Woods. Remember Cabin in the Woods?
Cabin in the Woods.
It felt a little bit of like that in terms of like there's the control room and then kind of
what's
operating.
the Jim Carrey movie?
Oh yeah,
Which-
Truman Show.
Which also had
God.
Ann Harris. That's true. Who
Truman
was
Show,
man.
The Matrix. I love
underrated movie, by
Yeah,
the way.
it's very underrated. I love.
I'm pretty sure everyone loves Truman Show.
Yeah.
That's one thing we could agree on. I love movies and TV shows where whenever if I'm that engrossed in it, I'm constantly questioning not only the world and story that they're talking about, but how it pertains to like the real world right now. The entire time I'm going, fuck, what if we're in a simulation? What if all this
It got
is...
trippy.
So it got trippy and I'm going...
The current scientific theory that is
Yeah, we
prevalent
could
is that we're in simulation.
Yeah, we're at a point where we could test if we're in a simulation. And so I was just thinking about that, and it was really tripping me out. There's a scientific equation, or they're saying how we can right now test to see if we're in a simulation or not.
So let me give a little bit more description. It's actually a show about a somewhat kind of amusement park, and it's supposed to be for people to enter the park, and they have what are called in the show hosts, which are the robots that are programmed to interact.
They never said those are robots, though. They're just synthetic.
Well, synthetic. You're right. I'm sorry. They're synthetic
Robot.
life that are programmed, but they are programmed.
Android like.
That have their storylines, and I thought one thing that I thought was really interesting is that these aren't just robots or hosts. I'll just keep it hosts that are walking around. That they actually have a storyline that these people can go on these different adventures depending on what they want to do.
Something explored at the end of the episode. They have overall drives, goals, directives that are like that are kind of pushing the characters in certain ways, and so. If you didn't have any of these, theme park guests coming into this world, this world would keep going on, and they would recycle these, throughout the day and stuff. But it's when the guests come in and start murdering or having sex, interacting with these, like
going on adventures, going
robberies,
going robberies, going for people. They had the wanted poster of a guy, and someone said, "Babe, should we go get him?" And they're like, "All right, let's go do it." And they went and rode down into the hills.
It's almost like a choose your own adventure kind of
thing.
I got a
live action. What was that one game that came out not too long ago? Kind of like Grand Theft Auto.
Red Dead
Redemption, but with real life.
But a few years ago.
Oh, my favorite game of all time.
That was
exactly like that,
but
insert real people, and it was great. Just the cinematography.
I gotta say, I've been on a Kubrick kick these last few days, and what I really liked about Westworld towards the end is like it's one of those shows where you want to pay attention to everything they're saying, and you want to look for little clues as to what's going to happen in the future, what's happening now, which is really, really neat. Like it further invests you in the show, and instead of you're just watching something take place, you're kind of taking like part in it.
You should have seen the intro. I was engrossed in just
I walked in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, just in the title sequence and like the weird plastic making of like artificial people and the piano playing. It was like this really creepy but almost beautiful and mechanical connection between life and technology. And it was really the whole time I was just really unsettled.
It's a lot of complicated ideas that they had to get across in an hour, and they use every second so well. I mean, it's probably one of the best pilots I've ever seen. You're right about the title sequence. Like, already you see horses and people being created like these synthetic creatures. You already get a sense of the world that you're in, and it is.
No, and I mean,
cannot wait to get into it more.
You can almost all the storylines that were set up, but so naturally. Was great. I mean, you have stories from the host, you have stories from guests, you have stories from people who are running the park,
management
and people who have that kind of jockeying in terms of management, but it's on such a different level than your normal office job. I mean, and the acting was great. I mean, there was a scene where one of the hosts was
the sheriff. Are you talking about
the sheriff
being inspected by,
and you just see his movements. Because he's an early
the father sheriff.
He was an early version of the host, and you saw his movements be very robotic.
Not like this bad, but it was still there was something just off about him.
Just tiny,
like, wow, that's not how a human moves.
Yeah, or like
it was done so well.
But even later in the interrogation with the father.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, and that one as well. Yeah,
that's a great scene with Anthony Hopkins. It's just great acting. It's just great.
And
acting.
you can tell they're gonna go deep on a lot of things, a lot of philosophical things, and I mean,
I was really happy that Hopkins wasn't hamming it up because he's been doing that quite a bit in his movies lately.
Thor.
Yeah. He's been hamming up a lot of his stuff. He did that Last Exorcism movie too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, where he plays an old exorcist. In that movie, he hams the entire thing. It could be like a decent horror movie, and it just becomes like kind of outlandish
because of his performance. Really.
Yeah. But this, he seems really invested.
He's
very grounded.
Right
Yeah. He's awesome. Let's talk about the music. We all had some pretty cool music with the music.
About that. It's true, man.
I liked
Paint
how...
Black on Chords was badass.
Well, the first thing was when what was the song?
You called the first song.
When you're in the world, it's, Wild West kind of thing. And on the player piano, they had a song that was by... Oh, I can't even think of it, but it's Black Hole Sun.
Yeah, Black Hole Sun, yeah.
Which, if you've ever seen the video for that song, it is a creepy-ass video.
Mm-hmm.
And
it helped to set the tone.
And it set the tones completely, but to like kind of offset that in the we'll say real world, it was all original score that was very it set the tone amazing.
Yeah.
The music was amazing, was perfect.
At no point were you confused as to where you were in the story, in terms of time or in terms of space.
Yeah.
Like, are we in this world or where are we at? It made a lot of sense. The editing was great, man.
Another thing that again freaks me out with the whole is this a synthetic world that we're living in? It's like, what if any song that we were listening to is in that scenario case? It's just something that's played back from another world for us. Again, the whole show just tripped me out in much of the way like the Matrix did when the first time I saw it. Like, what if we are what was that? I'll watch back. You know what? There's no hiding. You're on camera.
This is definitely one of those shows where it's for example, for the other HBO show that everyone watches, Game of Thrones, it's a very different feel in terms of when you watch Game of Thrones, it's more like, oh my god, could you believe he did that? And I wonder if he's going to do this next. This one, it almost seems like after the episode's done, it's instead of talking about what happened, we're going to talk about why we think it's happening or why they're talking about those specific things. And there's going to be a lot more why.
We're still unsure as to the rules of this theme park. You're not really sure, why are they acting this way, and how far are they going to crank it up?
Yeah.
Because then you have Ed Harris's character, who's definitely going to be the villain of this, I guess.
Or do we know? We don't know if he's...
Well, it seems like he's trying to uncover... at first you think he's just... a
dick.
He's just an extreme player in this theme park, and he wants to be the villain, and you're able to do that. You can murder, and you can, fuck, and you can rape, and do whatever the fuck you want, I guess, in this.
To the host, yes.
But it seems like he's almost looking for a higher truth, almost like there's little Easter eggs that the theme park's creators have been, planting in the world itself, and he's trying to uncover it or maybe unravel the whole thing. I keep thinking maybe he's trying to hack into the system, or I'm not sure what's actually at play.
Is he actually helping cause?
Is it like a corporate espionage?
You kind of have a little clue in Hopkins, spoilers, talking about we're at this stage where we can cure every disease, we can extend life longer than ever before. Like, we're at the point where nothing will get better. Like, we're at the end of what human evolution can accomplish. So maybe there's something that has to do with life, like the purpose of life.
It's a big assumption he's making right there. It assumes that humans, if we're able to cure all this disease, the only thing left to do is to create life. And the only thing left is artificial intelligence, and how far can we push that?
Which also feeds more in the simulation theory, because it's like, if we can eventually get to that point, what's to say that some people behind us got to that point?
Absolutely.
Oh, freaks me out.
And
it's great.
This is definitely a deep show.
It's gonna push you to the edge of your philosophical thinking.
And I like that. I think it's a good change of pace for them, for HBO, in terms of one, of course, since Game of Thrones does have its expiration date. We know it's only 13 episodes left. It's at this time in 2 years, Game of Thrones is done.
And you made the important statement in terms of, if you're looking for the next Game of Thrones, this is a great show, but it's not Game of Thrones. There's definitely some vicious murders, and there's a lot of blood and gore and some cool action sequences. But in Game of Thrones, you're more concerned with the actual drama.
Just the event. It's just
the
events.
The event itself. Here, a face gets blown off. That's not really the highlight of the show. The highlight is, this world itself.
Especially since people, the actual guest, can't die in this world in the sense.
Or so we say.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, the rules are set that robots or
Robots.
Whoever these people are,
these hosts can't hurt the guests. They can they can kill each other. The guests can kill them, but they can't harm the human guests.
Oh.
So are those? I mean, we kind of saw a little, bit at the end. Maybe that's not as a hard rule as it has been for however long this park has been in existence.
I think this could be.
Decades,
this seems like the first genuine type of like show that will take over for Game of Thrones that HBO's done, because the Scorsese stuff that they've done, Boardwalk and Vinyl sucked. Like I know Boardwalk people like Boardwalk Empire, but it's not a good show. And Vinyl
I never heard anything.
Vinyl was terrible.
I couldn't get past.
I watched the entire first
Vinyl
season.
looks a
Did not
little
like
too cheesy.
It was too cheesy. I mean, it all felt like knockoff Scorsese, and it's like Scorsese's doing this shit. What's going on?
Right. Yeah.
I'm excited, man.
But I love Jonathan. I love Jonathan Nolan.
Oh yeah, Jonathan Nolan. Yeah, this will definitely be a recurring little segment on the podcast for coming. Since
and I'd love to keep talking about it. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I don't remember if I saw.
What else has Jonathan Nolan done? I know he was essential in the last few
He
DC
wrote The
movies.
Dark Knight and
he's worked a lot obviously with his brother.
Did he write The Dark Knight or only Dark Knight Rises?
No, The Dark Knight. They had the original script written by Goyer. Jonathan Nolan looked at it, was like, Goyer's trash, rewrote it, and made The Dark Knight.
What a beast, man.
So let's see. Okay,
that's a good,
he did screenplay for The Prestige,
which is a great movie.
The Dark Knight, Dark Knight Rises. He has written by for Interstellar, and then he helped create Person of Interest with J.J. Abrams as well.
Man of Steel. Was he in Man of Steel or BVS at all?
No,
and then obviously this show as well. So I mean, he's definitely worked with his brother and J.J. Abrams a lot.
Yeah, he's killing it, man.
And he wrote the short story for Memento.
Yes.
Another great movie.
The guy's a beast.
This is great. I'm looking forward to this.
So his work is we're definitely big fans of a lot of his writing. So I'm very excited, and this I think is only going to get better and better as they flesh out the world even more, as we kind of get deeper into those.
Isn't it crazy? Only one episode in, and they created quite the world.
Oh yeah.
None of us really said a word the entire episode. We were just
John Davis trying to be quiet and.
This is for sure appointment viewing.
Oh yeah. See, there you
I have
go.
to pay attention to every single detail, even like at the end where she's like, spoiler alert, where they're interviewing her. She's like, "Would you hurt anybody? Would you?" And she's like, "No, I wouldn't harm a fly." And then at the end, the fly. I don't know if this.
I think she said.
She said when she wouldn't hurt any living thing.
She said no.
Yeah.
And they did make a point to show these flies flying on the hose,
And it would mess them
up. It wouldn't mess them up, but they just never reacted to it.
They also made sure to show that there was blood out of the fly. If you watched the scene.
Oh yeah, you saw like a splash.
Just in case you thought it was an animatronic fly.
I guess it's nice. I'm like, it's just animatronic, and then oh shit, I think it's real.
Yeah. Which is good. Well, they're building the horses, so they might be building the flies. That's a good idea.
But I think they built the people, and they have the hosts, and they have blood that you see.
That's right.
Yeah.
Obviously, it could be fake blood to make sure the whole thing is real.
The visuals are amazing.
I really think that you can't go wrong with Abrams or Jonathan Nolan, and as long as Damon Lindelof stays far the fuck away from anything Abrams ever does again.
Did you notice that white pool where it seems like they're building some of those the synthetic hosts? It comes out of this white, almost like kind of milk thing, and then maybe. But
all life comes from.
But in terms of some of the action sequences in Westworld, in terms of the milk spilling and stuff, and even one of the hosts drinking milk and it's pouring out of him. I just see some of the parallels between that.
I didn't even think about that.
It was pretty good. When you see
it gives them life.
The mom or dad on the floor, and you see the blood, and you see
milk.
the
it's
so good.
It reminded me of Alien.
It reminded you of what?
Alien.
With the androids. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, the milk thing, that's really good because one of the original Bible said land of milk and honey. There's grass for cows and there's flowers for bees, and you get milk and honey. So life. There you go. That's great. That's a good one. I like that.
You took it to another level too.
I tried.
Very nice. What else we got, man?
All right.
This is a good episode.
Yeah, let's keep it going.
Let's camera one.
Can't see us. There you go.
If the camera stayed on, I'm not sure.
I know that's true. We have no idea actually.
Hopefully, because that one apparently has an automatic shut off after a certain amount of time.
This could all be for nothing. Well, we're still recording the audio.
We still got these two in the audio.
Yes.
Oh, that's yes.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
It'll be fine.
Well, anyways, a little bit of classic rewind.
Oh, we're still doing this. Okay.
Just a quick, just
a quick one.
Yeah. Goodfellas, a little Scorsese. Now that you mention it, there you go.
Classic Scorsese.
Classic Scorsese.
Classic Scorsese. Good.
Who hadn't seen it before?
It was me.
Bobby.
Nice.
I had seen pretty much the whole thing.
You've
but
seen it now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Did you like it?
let's hear it, Bobby. This is really, these classic rewinds so far have been for Bobby, and for us to judge him on his opinions
I
after
don't
it.
care of your judgments. I'm my own man. I have my own opinions.
Well, let's hear it. Like for someone who hadn't seen it before, what were your thoughts on Goodfellas?
I loved it. I had notes and stuff. No, seriously.
Okay,
seriously.
well, while you think, how about I'll do. Scorsese film came out in 1990. Screenplay, yeah, it's been a while. Screenplay by Scorsese as well. Had Joe Pesci,
Awesome.
is amazing in this.
Mm-hmm.
He-
When the Academy Award for it, right?
Yeah,
That's
he,
what I
he needs a comeback.
Mm-hmm.
He is the Irishman.
Really?
Yeah.
We have De Niro.
Scorsese. It's De Niro, Scorsese, and Pesci all back together again.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there a trailer for this?
No, I mean they're going to start filming it now.
Wow, I'm
Yeah.
excited for that.
And then, of
That's
course,
awesome.
the main character, Ray Liotta.
If they throw Leonardo DiCaprio in that movie,
No.
it's
Keep him
game
the fuck
over.
away.
You don't like Leo?
I do, but I want to see classic Scorsese. Leo's new Scorsese.
You don't want to
it's
mix
not as
it.
good.
You don't want to mix.
It's step
Wow,
up.
really?
It's not as good.
In my mind, we have the classic Scorsese already. Let's bring them all together.
I'd be fine with combining them all. That'd
Wow.
be pretty
I'm
sweet.
good. Keep him away.
All right.
Anyway, well, back to Goodfellas. I loved it. From the first 2 minutes of the film.
All I wanted to be
I-
was a gangster.
I was, as soon as he did that, I was 100% in this movie. You know, the growth,
that tracking shot,
the tracking, just the cinematography, the storytelling, the mix of comedy and sticking with these characters, and you really cared about this main character. And then I felt, the evolution throughout the ages of the times and how it felt meant to being a gangster and stuff. It was just so cool.
It's one of the best movies for a shift in time without it being so awkward and jarring.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
seeing
Oh,
the
yeah.
change
It felt
in
so
dress.
natural.
And
Yeah.
So
Scorsese does
natural.
that really well in terms of you can skip 10, 20 years in an instant, and he does it so effortlessly. But then he uses time in another way in terms of making just these uncomfortable scenes that kind of
Yes,
drag
that's
on.
Final
something I
20
remember.
minutes.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say that,
Yes.
but even
and it's uncomfortable. You're like, oh, this is making me feel
Upsetting.
weird. It is upsetting.
I'll
Yeah.
say even more than the first 20 minutes, last 20 minutes, one particular scene is when Joe Pesci is telling the story,
I'm a clown.
and
I'm a
Ray
joke to you?
Liotta
Oh, wait, the last
tells
few
him
minutes.
you're funny. He's like,
Oh, yeah,
what do you
yeah.
mean I'm funny?
What are you saying? A scene that makes you feel as uncomfortable?
Oh, I think you said the last 2
Yeah.
minutes.
No,
Keep
well,
going.
because I was even less than just that 20 minutes.
Okay,
that
yeah.
that one scene
Mhm.
is block beautiful. You see both of them at perfect angles. You have that build of the rest of the people around the table where you see those characters clearly, but you see the group, and you see the group kind of going like,
That awkward moment where Daddy just hit Mommy at the table.
Yeah.
And it's just silent, just that awkward tension of you don't know what's going to happen. And later, with every single other person where a scenario has happened, Joe Pesci has killed a guy.
Okay.
Somebody, everything.
so you and that's set up before, and it's set up, and it afterwards that you have that central spot. It's like you
What's he
you
gonna
don't
do?
know what's gonna happen.
Another
Is he gonna
of
punch him? Is he gonna
Another
kill
of the
him?
scenes like that is the spider when he tells Pesci to fuck himself. And
Yeah.
you feel the buildup. You feel how Pesci's feeling. You feel like how Tommy's feeling. He's like, they're talking shit now. I have to do something about this. Like, you would have to, talk shit, but in Tommy's case, fucking
Yeah, but
blows
they're
him
all
away.
laughing. You think
Yeah.
it's like it could go either way. Or like they're all laughing. Like,
But
oh, this is gonna
Tommy's
be
a fucking
fine.
psychopath.
Exactly, but like, oh, they laughed it off. It was gonna be fine. Like in the first scene, bam, 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 and it keeps escalating. Great moments.
The death itself, them actually killing. I mean, even when they kill Joe Pesci, it happens so fast sometimes.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, wow, the scene was drawn out that long, and then wait, now he's dead. You almost are like, it's kind of crazy.
I used to
It's
joke with
great
my dad
moments,
that,
man.
that the only reason Martin Scorsese got into film was so that he could kill Joe Pesci in interesting ways.
One of my favorite scenes, I loved when the wife she's sitting over him, and it's this
Oh, Lorraine Bracco's amazing in the
immediately
movie.
starts when you have the barrel of the gun just
Yeah.
right at the camera, and it's not even like an over the shoulder thing. It's constantly switching from the first person view of both characters,
Yeah.
and you feel like you're in that scene. Watching just the tension of the whole movie, and especially eventually when the main character, where he thinks they're gonna off him, where she's gonna go down the alley, and there's just the whole paranoia between them and the mob and the cops.
Go right in there.
Yeah,
Right
it's
there.
just it's just the whole time it goes from, it's like life. It's just a roller coaster of, listen.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not high. There's nothing that I smoked. It's just a roller coaster of emotions. It goes from, things are going great. I feel comfortable. Shit's going downhill. What's gonna happen? And you never knew it was gonna happen, and it felt great.
It's
watching that.
It's one of the best movies in portraying the mafia, just because, like, everyone's always thought about how cool it would be to be like a gangster. When you think about The Godfather, when you think about like the first 40 minutes of Goodfellas, like how badass it must have been to have that life. Do whatever you want, the power. Fucking kill someone if you want to, steal money if you want to. If you wanted money, it was there for the taking. Just like that idea of freedom, that kind of, cowboy mentality that, we grow up, we want to play cowboys and Indians for that reason. And he is the best at showing, okay, yeah, but then you end up here.
Yeah.
And here fucking sucks. And that last 20 minutes of that movie is so uncomfortable, and you're so paranoid. And it's just the perfect takedown of that lifestyle, and just going, but you're looking over your shoulder all the time. Your fucking friend's killed. Your other friend that you have grown up with that you think is, making you think is your boy. And one's gonna have to kill your wife.
And you said it right, lifestyle. Because if it was any other rational person placed in the situation, you're gonna back away from any one of those rooms or settings, and you're just gonna say, this is crazy. But that's why these characters. Even if the marriage is shitty, or even if like the mob is like, it's gonna end up killing you, they're almost compelled. They have they have to go down this path.
Well, it's like what the girl says. She says, "I knew all this was bad, but it turned me on."
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
She enjoys it, and she's stupid for sticking with him. But at the same time, it's like you almost gotta be like, "Wow,
it's their life."
She sticks with him.
Their life.
I was cracking up when he's like, when he hid the cocaine. And of course, she like just flushing it all down the toilet, and he was like,
"Karen,
where's the cocaine?" It's like he hit it in the most obvious spot in the freaking house, and
they wouldn't have found it.
And they wouldn't have found it. He's getting madder. She's like, "I didn't know what to do with it." I was cracking up because like it's so stupid and asinine of him, but then like they're hugging each other, and I was like, but even back to cinematography, you're talking about the tracking shot. In the very beginning, it's very smooth in the way it's shot, and then as the panic sets in and it goes into later. It goes into quick cuts and zooms, and it captures the essence of what these characters are feeling, and it's amazing and beautiful to watch.
It's also one of the best representations of like the family life of these
besides
people.
The Godfather.
Even then,
I prefer in terms
like
of
the
family.
Godfather?
I prefer Godfather.
Godfather, yeah.
See, but The Godfather, it's a Hollywood version of a mafia family. It maybe the old school Italian guys did that.
Yeah.
But I mean, like it's I
kind of see what you mean. This almost
this was the mob wife. This is what a mob wife is.
Well,
she knows what her husband does, and she's taking part in the wealth. And then at the end, when she realizes the ride has come to an end and it's time to go to witness protection, she doesn't want to do it.
Right.
She's like, nah, I'm good. I was here for the ride. I was here for the money. I was here for this.
Well, again, you're talking about mafia, and yes, you're right. But in regards to family, though, Godfather, I think exemplifies
I think that's more of a like a fictionalized Hollywood version of family.
Whatever it is,
right?
It's still
a better family.
Family,
but what I'm talking about is a realistic version.
Oh yeah,
of the mafia family.
I agree.
It's Goodfellas.
I agree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do we have an idea for the next one?
You know what I was thinking? It's October. Maybe do
some horror movie.
Maybe a horror movie.
Yeah,
of some sort.
Yeah. All right, we'll do a horror movie. We'll do a classic horror movie.
Let's pick one.
Well, we can talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like putting it on here so that we know our people know what's coming next.
I would love to see the first two Aliens.
You've ever seen the first two Aliens?
I would love to see it for this this podcast.
Number 2 isn't a horror movie though.
Okay, well the first one. So Alien. We will watch Alien, and it'll be our classic horror rewind for the month.
I'm down for that.
Let's do a month of horror rewinds.
Yeah. Oh no. Of course. Like that's easy. But
I like it.
We'll do Alien, and then we'll be more prepared for the next one. That's
pretty good. Let's hear
that
it.
was good. Go ahead.
I can't do it.
Oh, see, all right. Well,
just his presence is enough to scare you.
Such a vulgar display of power, Father Caddis.
Oh,
okay.
That was something.
Well, thank you guys all for joining us this week on our first full cast.
Let's hope the cameras are...
I think this is the main one. I'm not sure. I heard a clicking, but...
well, there's going to be a horror.
Yeah, no, he'll get that.
Yeah, we're going to do some, like, we'll throw some visual cues on there. It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
man.
it'll be good. We're getting those production values are going up.
Dicks out for Robbie.
And on that one, thank you guys for joining us. We have John David,
That's right.
Bobby, Adam, and me, Chris. Have a good week. We'll see you next one.
Next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, time at the Regal. A young man went out and made a name for himself. He's been on every record-breaking show in the Regal Theater in the last 2 years.